This should be quick. Installing a smart Wi-Fi in-wall switch, even though I'm not an electrician by trade, is not a particularly complicated thing. I've automated a lot of the lighting in my life so that I don't have to turn switches on and turn switches off or really give it any thought whatsoever. But just outside my office, there's a room where I haven't done that yet. And we're going to take out the dimmer switch that's currently there and replace it with a Tekin Smart Switch. Years of using only the switch part of the dimmer has persuaded me to save about 2/3 of the cost and install a smart switch instead of a smart dimmer. You can still schedule when it comes on and turns off, it just doesn't dim. You can connect these Tekin switches to Amazon Alexa or Google Home or If This Then That, or just use the Smart Life app I'm going to use to set this one up. This yellow sticker reminds us to kill the power at the breaker before starting. It also says we'll need a neutral wire, which is usually white. If you take a look at the switch, you'll see it has 4 wires: green, white, black, and red. Non-smart single-pole switches can get away with just 2 wires, just to simply break a circuit. But smart dimmers have to power a little intelligence and a Wi-Fi radio, so you'll need to hook up all 4. The Tekin comes with a package of wire nuts, big enough for a small wad of wires, and long screws for attaching the switch to the mounted box. It also comes with a little easy-to-read instruction booklet that I'll typically refer to a lot, and a wall plate that I won't use at all since the new switch is going into a 2-gang box and therefore needs a 2-gang plate. I'll pop the cover on the dimmers. Apparently no one uses these dimmers unless they have a lot of jam on their hands. This particular switch we're installing is single pole, so you can only use it on lights that have a single switch, not a switch on one side of the room and another on the other. Also, the Wi-Fi part of this switch works on 2.4 GHz, which is super common. Very few 5 GHz Wi-Fi routers don't also support 2.4 GHz. Just be sure when you go to initially set this switch up to have your phone connected to the same 2.4 GHz router. Once it's set up, you can be connected to pretty much anything, like say the Wi-Fi at the hotel when you're vacationing 10,000 miles away. Almost invariably, when you go inside your walls, you'll find strange things. I have a purple wire. I don't know if that's coming across on camera, but it's purple. And I'm assuming it's not 480 volts. Fascinating. If you're an actual electrician, I'd love to hear why this wire is purple. I can see a lot better in here if I remove both dimmers, so why not? It might feel like extra work, but it probably saves me a little time in the end. Certainly some struggle. As I said, I'm not an electrician, so the first wire I hook up when I'm putting in something like this is the green ground wire. It shouldn't make any difference, I guess, but I still connect the ground wire first. Then we connect the white to the white, the red to the red, and the black to the black. The dimmer I'm taking out has only 2 wires coming out of it, and they're both black. Fortunately, both the white and green were in the wall box, because for this switch they are, as I said, necessary. The switch has a red load wire and a black line wire, but my box and the old dimmer have only those black wires and they aren't labeled. I have some clues which black wire in the wall is which, but you should know it's important to get these right or the smart switch won't work. Of course, if you have no way of knowing which is which and your switch doesn't work after you power it up, one of the first things you might try is swapping those 2 wires. Once we've gotten all these wires connected, we can tuck them back into the wall, which is never as easy as you'd like it to be. Then we'll put the switch and the dimmer back in place so we can screw them down to the wall box. We won't tighten them down hard, since we'll need some flexibility to get them lined up correctly for the wall plate. Once we have everything positioned, we can put the plate back on and button it back down. After I make sure everything is wired and working properly, I'm going to need to seriously scrub this clean. Especially now that the lights will get automated and it's likely no one will touch this much, might as well make it good and clean. When we flip the breaker, we get this green LED which tells us the light is turned off, so apparently it's hooked up correctly. Hit this switch to turn it on, and the LED turns red, as it should, telling us the light is on. I'll check the old dimmer too and make sure it still works as expected. Now we can load the Smart Life app on the phone. I already have an account, so I'll just tap the plus sign to add the new switch. I'll hold the switch down for 7 seconds so that the LED flashes and the switch can be discovered by the app. When the app has it, the LED stops blinking. Now we can turn the light on and off with the app. The switch isn't completely silent when it turns on or off the light. It makes a soft click. Not a big deal for me, but it should be noted. And that's it! Next I'll use the app to program a schedule for the lights to turn on and off. That wasn't so hard, was it?